Yo, what's good guys? It's Bryce back at it again with another video for you guys. So guys, like always, if it is your first time here and you want to know how to get better at basketball and see my journey to the league, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any future content. Because guys, we are so close to that 100 subscriber mark. So if you are not already subscribed, please subscribe so that you guys don't miss out on this 100 subscribers special coming up soon. Okay, now let's get on with today's video. So as you guys can see, we're in the house right now because today's video is going to be me explaining player roles and positions in basketball. So guys, this is a special video because I actually got another suggestion for this video to explain the positions and roles in basketball. So stay tuned on the positions and roles of basketball that I'm going to be explaining in just a minute. Okay guys, so the order that I'm going to do to explain the positions and roles in basketball is I'm going to start off with each position, explaining their offensive roles and their defensive roles. So I'm going to go through each of the positions, explaining the roles on offense and defense and all that type of stuff, explaining what they're supposed to do on the court so that you guys can know what position you think you guys would play, as well as just what your role would be if people are talking about positions or if your coach tells you a specific position to be in. Okay, now let's get to explain the positions and roles in basketball. So I'm going to go get set up and let's go ahead and explain the roles and position in basketball. Okay guys, the first position in basketball that I'm going to be talking about first is on the offensive role, which is going to be point guard. Okay, so point guard's role on offense is basically known as the team's best ball handler and passer. So these point guards are players that are very fast and are good at driving and short range shots as well as long range shots. So point guards often lead the team in assists, which is basically, an assist is basically where you pass a basketball to somebody and they score off of the pass you made. These point guards are able to create shots for themselves as well as their teammates and run the offensive end. So these point guards are often quick and are able to hit shots off the dribble, off the catch, and all that type of stuff on both inside the three-point arc and outside the three-point arc. Point guards are widely known as also floor generals. This is basically because they run the offense and create plays for their teammates as well as themselves, because they are the people that start the basketball play to score points for their team. Point guards should also study film to recognize what their offensive strengths are as well as the defense's weaknesses. Point guards are referred to as dribblers or playmakers. Okay, now let's take a look at the point guard's defensive role. Okay, so on defense, a point guard's main role is to disrupt the opposition's main ball handler. They do this by paying attention to detail and by being aggressive on the floor so that they can be able to steal the ball and disrupt the offensive players' play so that they don't score any points for their team. Some notable point guards in the NBA could be people like Stephen Curry, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving, Kemba Walker, John Wall, all those type of guys. Those are all point guards in the NBA. The average height for an NBA point guard would be around 6 feet to 6'3" inches. Now obviously there are taller point guards like Ben Simmons and there's shorter point guards like Isaiah Thomas, but that is just the average about from the point guard being from 6 foot to 6'3". Okay, that about covers the main role of a point guard on both offensive and defensive ends. So now we're gonna take a look at the offensive shooting guard. Okay, so a shooting guard's role is basically similar to a point guard's role. This is because they are both guards. So a typical shooting guard would usually be positioned on the floor on the wing. So the position of a wing is basically at the top of the start of the key. So you have 5 spots. So you have the corner, the wing, the top of the key, the other wing, and the other corner. So it's basically in between the corner and the top of the key. That is the wing position, and that is where the shooting guard plays. So like the name suggests, shooting guards are typically really good from 3-point range as well as long mid-range shots. Okay, so shooting guards typically circulate around the 3-point arc, so that way they can be in linear with the basketball, so that way they can get open for passes, so that they can shoot long-range shots as well as long mid-range shots. This allows the shooting guard to be in correct position to get a wide open pass for a wide open 3-point shot. Shooting guards are also really good at moving without the basketball. This means that the shooting guard is really good at moving and finding open spaces for good looks, for good shots. So shooting guards, just like point guards, can be good ball handlers too, and sometimes can be called upon to bring the ball up and down the court. This is known as somebody who is a combo guard. Okay, that about covers the offensive role of a shooting guard. So now let's move on with the defensive roles of a shooting guard. So a shooting guard is typically the best defender on the basketball team. They typically are looking out for passes that are made by the main ball handler on the offensive end and trying to steal those passes that are made. So on the defensive end of a shooting guard, they also play defense on the perimeter. The perimeter is the 3-point line that goes around the basketball court on both ends of the basketball court. So some common known shooting guards would be players like James Harden, Klay Thompson, Dwayne Wade, Victor Oladipo, Bradley Beal, DeMar DeRozan, and all those types of players. Shooting guards typically range from 6'3" to 6'6". Although, like I said, there's players that can be taller or shorter than that height range. Okay guys, the third position that we got for basketball is the position called small forward, and we're going to be talking about the roles on offense for small forward. So the small forward is considered to be the most versatile basketball player on the court. So what I mean by versatile is that a small forward can be interchangeable between most of the spots on the basketball court because they can have attributes of all the positions in basketball. Small forward's role mostly resembles a shooting guard rather than a power forward because they are versatile and they need to have the skills of all the 5 positions on the basketball court. These small forwards also play on the wing position on offense. So small forwards have a variety of assets, including things like quickness and strength inside. Small forwards are also good drivers to the basket. Besides small forwards being able to drive to the basket, they are also good shooters from long range, as well as point guards and shooting guards. So essentially, small forwards should be able to do a little bit of every position on the basketball court. Okay, now that we're done with explaining the offensive small forward, let's go ahead and explain the defensive role of a small forward. So small forwards have similar responsibilities as a shooting guard because they also play on the wing position. So basically, like the shooting guard, the small forward's responsibility is to disrupt the offense by stealing the pass from the point guard starting the play, as well as small forwards need to be good at rebounding because they are likely taller players than both point guards and shooting guards. Some notable NBA small forwards are players like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard. All those types of players play the position of small forward in the NBA. So the average NBA height for small forwards is players ranging from typically 6'6" to 6'8". Okay, that about covers the position role of small forward on both offensive and defensive ends. So let's move on with the power forward's offensive role. So the power forward plays a role similar to the center position. The power forward is often the team's most powerful and dependent scorer on the basketball team. This is by being able to score close to the basket while also being able to shoot mid-range jump shots from about 10 to 15 feet from the basket. Some power forwards are even good at shooting from long range, but typically are not. but there are some power forwards in the NBA that are good at shooting from long range. So power forwards are usually more versatile than centers. Generally, power forwards are really athletic and like the strongest unit on the basketball court. Okay, now let's take a look at the power forward's defensive role. So power forward's role on the defensive end is similar to that on the center's defensive end. This is because on defense, power forwards typically play in the post and use their skill and athleticism to block shots. So on defense, power forwards are required to have enough strength to guard bigger players close to the basket and have enough athleticism to guard quick players away from the basket. Some power forwards in the NBA could be players like Draymond Green, Al Horford, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Kevin Love. The average NBA power forward ranged from the height from 6'8" to 6'10". Okay, that about covers the position for power forward. So let's go ahead and move on with our fifth and final position. So this final position would be the center position. Let's talk about this center's position offensive role. Okay, so the center position usually plays near the baseline or close to the basket. This is known as low post. So centers are usually the tallest players on the basketball court. So the center position usually scores down low or in the paint, which is in the key. But although some centers can be good perimeter shooters. So centers are usually slower than power forwards, but they use their height as a big advantage. Because they are so tall, it makes it really easy to score in the paint because they weigh more and they're taller, so it's easier to easily post people up and score on them. Centers can also take shots from long mid-range shots, and even more in the NBA today, centers are starting to get better at shooting from long-range shots. Okay, now let's take a look on the center's position on defense. So on the defensive end, a center's position is really important to the defensive setup. This is because they use their height as a major advantage by being typically skilled at gathering rebounds, contesting shots, and setting screens on players. This makes it really important to the defensive setup because the center can typically block shots to keep the offensive team from scoring on them. Some widely known centers in the NBA could be players like Miles Turner, Andre Drummond, Clint Capella, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid. So the average height of an NBA center is that of being 6'10" or taller. Okay guys, that about covers the positions and roles in basketball. I would also like to give a huge shout out to the people who gave me this video idea that I can use in my videos. It is really helpful to me, so if you guys have any video ideas, please feel free to put them in the comment section below so that I can use your guys' video ideas and so that you guys can enjoy the video. Also guys, stay tuned for my videos coming up every single Friday. So if you guys don't want to miss out on those videos coming every single Friday, be sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell icon so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below if I missed anything or if you have any questions about the things that I talked about in this video. Okay guys, that about covers the players, positions, and roles in basketball. So you all have a great rest of your day. And I'm out.